Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsay's Little Library. So I'm here today to share with you my summer book haul. Bought some more books, but this is kind of the end. I need to stop. So I did make a commitment to myself. I started a new series called Try It Before You Buy It, where I am really taking the time to look into the books before I actually make a purchase instead of just buying books on a whim. So this should be the last book haul for a while, hopefully. But I'm going to make a real effort for it to be just done for a little bit. So these came from a variety of places, some from my library, some from Amazon, some from Book Outlet. I'll try to point out what I got and from where and go from there. Some of them I don't know a whole lot about, others I do. We'll just get started. So first one I will point out are the books I picked up when I went to the book club meeting at Barnes & Noble in June, I think. Maybe it was May 1, I don't know. But I did pick up The President is Missing by Bill Clinton and James Patterson. This is really bought for my husband. He's a huge James Patterson fan. He loves any books that have anything to do with anything political. Totally on board with that. Loves, loves, loves them. We'll see what he says. I'm actually intrigued by this. I'm interested in this. I might just pick this up. So that was book number 1. The other book I found in their bargain bin while I was there was Titans by Lila McCam. I read Tumbleweeds by her last summer and absolutely loved it. So I've been kind of collecting them as I came across them. So I have Roses, I have Somerset, and now I have Titans. Really, really enjoy these books. They're just kind of family saga type books, just really great stories. So I'm loving that. I did get a book on bookishfirst.com. I won a copy of The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. This is on sale August 21st of this year, so I definitely want to get to this sooner than later. This basically follows a character, Emily, who's getting married to Adam. Everything is perfect. They are in love, but she's having some issues with Adam's mom, who's the other woman. It sounds good. Psychological thriller-ish, I think, but really sounds great, so gotta get that one read sooner than later. I have a few books from my aunt. As she reads them, she passes them on to me, so I don't know a whole lot about them, but if she likes them, I'm gonna like them. So we have My Husband's Wife by Jane Corey. No idea what it's about. The Birthday Girl by Sue Fortin. I know this is a psychological thriller. These 4 friends go on a weekend for their 40th birthday and some stuff happens, it sounds like. And then Dead Girl Running by Christina Dodd. Again, don't know what that one's about, but like I said, if she likes them, I'm totally going to like them. Another one I got from a really, really great friend of mine is The Optimist's Guide to Letting Go by Amy Reichart. Amy Reichart was here in May doing a book signing for this specific release, and I was unable to go to it. We had a bit of a family emergency happen and I wasn't able to go. So my super, super great friend went to it, got it signed for me, and got me a bookmark. It was so unexpected and so, so sweet, and I just, oh my gosh, just love her for it. So I'm really excited to have this. I read Amy Reichart's The Coincidence of Coconut Cake a couple months ago and loved that book. She's a Wisconsin author. I believe most of her books are set in Wisconsin, which makes it even more relatable, and I love them even more. So I'm really excited to get to that one. All right, then I went on a little buying spree. I did empty my cart on Book Outlet. For anybody who doesn't know, as I kind of find books that I'm interested in or that I like, I search Book Outlet. If they're there, I'll add it to my cart, and then whenever sales come up or coupons are out or something's going on, I will just empty whatever's in my cart. So a lot of these have been in my cart for a while. First one is Karen Slaughter's The Kept Woman. I am so mad. I did not select mass market paperback. I know I didn't. I can't stand them, but this is what I got. But I looked at my receipt and it was like $1 or something, and I'm like, I'm not gonna throw a fuss over $1 or something, but it is Karen Slaughter. I know I'm going to love it, even if it's in this stupid little format. Next one I picked up was The Kitchen Boy, a novel of the lost Tsar by Robert Alexander. I have recently been obsessed with stories that center around the Romanovs. Since reading I Am Anastasia, so a viewer actually suggested this book, and it's this short little cute little thing, and so I picked it up. We'll give it a whirl. The next few, I picked up another Amy Reichard book, Luck, Love, and Lemon Pie. Again, they all take place in Wisconsin. This one is, I believe, in Milwaukee, so give that a whirl. She writes some really good contemporary fiction. Then I picked up The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. I need to stop with this because I haven't read The Woman in Cabin 10, and I know there's some controversy out there surrounding Ruth Ware as an author, so I really just need to read one of them and see if I like her or not. I don't know, but I picked it up. The other one I got, which is kind of funny because I bought this, I've had this in my possession for a good like 3 weeks or whatever, and I just saw that Reese Witherspoon just announced that this is her book club pick, I'm pretty sure. It's Next Year in Havana by Chanel Clayton. This follows, it's dual time perspectives. So we have Havana, Cuba in 1958. We have Eliza Perez, and she's part of Cuban's high society. She doesn't really understand the political turmoil that's happening in the city. She's just living a really great life. And then we have present day Miami, where we meet Marisol, who is a freelance writer and whose grandmother just passed away, who is Eliza. And she is tasked with going to Cuba to spread Eliza's ashes in her home country and learning a little bit of where she came from and what happened and what made Eliza's family flee Cuba to come to the United States. So it sounds really interesting, and look at this cover, so pretty. I just love these colors. So we've got that one. Next up, I picked up The Chilli Queen by Sandra Dallas. I love Sandra Dallas as an author. I've read a few of her books, 2 or 3 of them. They're all historical fiction. So this follows 2 women. We have Addie and Emma. Addie's on a train. She meets Emma, who is with her brother on their way to kind of deliver Emma to this groom. It's this man she's never met. It's this arranged marriage, and when they get there, the groom's not there. Emma's kind of left behind. Addie takes her in to shelter her, and they go from there. So love Sandra Dallas. Really great historical fiction books, and I believe another viewer suggested that one, which I hadn't had, so we picked that one up. Next one I grabbed off of Book Outlet was Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is a chunker of a book. But Marissa Meyer wrote The Lunar Chronicles, which I totally enjoyed and devoured all of them. And this is kind of her next series, I'm thinking. I know it has to do with like superheroes. I don't know much else from that. I'm just going to go into it blind. Like I said, I really enjoyed her Lunar Chronicles, so we're going to give this a try. The next one I picked up, and honestly a few of these books I think came off of an email I got, like bestsellers email or something, I'm not really sure, but I kind of clicked on them and was intrigued by most of them. So this is 100 Summers by Beatrice Williams. This follows Lily, and we're back, I think it's 1938. She's heading back to Seesaw, Rhode Island, where she has summered her entire childhood. So it sounds like had a little break, hasn't been there in a while, goes back there just to kind of recharge, rejuvenate herself, and the other people that show up is her best friend when she was there during the summer, as well as her former fiance, who are now together. So it sounds like there's some complications with that. It sounds like her and her fiance have some unkept secrets that need to come out, they need to deal with, all while a hurricane is coming in. Right? Sounds good. Sounded really good. So picked that one up. Next one I picked up is The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan. This is set in the summer of 1914. So we have Grace and Henry, and they are taking, oh, not Grace. Yeah, Grace and Henry. They're taking an ocean liner across the Atlantic, I believe. And on the journey, the ocean liner has an explosion, and seats in lifeboats are a rarity. So here, Henry does something to secure a seat in a lifeboat for Grace. So it's just her and a whole bunch of people, and they're over capacity, and some things go down so that that lifeboat doesn't sink. So sounds like somebody dies. She is actually on trial for her life, so it says. So I'm not sure if she's accused of doing something, but there's definitely some secrets that come out. It sounds fascinating. Sounds like a really good survival story, so we picked that up. Next book I added to my cart was Paths of Glory by Jeffrey Archer. Don't know what it's about. Jeffrey Archer is just one of my automatic buys. I don't have his books, I don't have this book. I'm slowly kind of collecting them. I love a couple of his series. I loved his Cain and Abel book, so I don't know. I'm gonna read it. It's gonna be fabulous. Next one I grabbed is The Good Neighbor by Amy Sue Nathan. This follows a character named Izzy, and she just got a divorce. She's a single mom. She's trying to kind of reinvent herself, so she moves back to her hometown where she grew up. She is helped out by a wonderful neighbor called Mrs. Feldman, as well as some of her friends welcome her back and kind of help her get back on her feet. Things are going great until her ex-husband shows up with a new girlfriend, and she starts to invent a new boyfriend. So she blogs while Noah's asleep at night about her new relationship, which it sounds like isn't true. So it sounds interesting. We'll give that a whirl. The next two books I picked up solely based upon like 2 sentences each. So the first one is Unbreakable. It's the Legion book number 1 by Cami Garcia. I heard someone else on BookTube talk about this, or a couple of people. It sounds good. But the first sentence says, I never believed in ghosts until one tried to kill me. So right there. Yep, gonna try that. And then I also picked up Dead Girl Society by Michelle Chris. And this one had me at, you are cordially invited to participate in a game of thrills and dares. Tell no one and come alone if you dare. Sounds good as well. So we give that a whirl. I'm almost done. Next one I picked up, first of all, I think it's super pretty. But it's Love is the Drug by Aaliyah Dawn Johnson. So this follows our main character, Emily Bird. She is like the perfect student, straight A student, is on the right path, and she is at, it sounds like an ordinary party of Washington DC's elite, and she meets a government agent. They kind of hit it off. She has some conversations, and all of a sudden she knows it's the next day. She wakes up in a hospital and she has no memory of what happened the night before. Maybe it's even longer than that. It might be a little longer period of time where she wakes up, she has no clue what happened. In the meantime, while she was out of it, a horrible virus has swept the world. Like, government is shutting people down, like curfews are extended, lots of rules are in place to try to cut this virus out, and people think Emily knows something about it. Her parents are scientists, they have a lab, they think they have something, the government thinks they have something to do with this. Emily has no recollection whatsoever. Definitely some big conspiracy theories going on here, and she has to rely on one of her friends. His name is Coffee. Just make sure. Yep, Coffee. Quiet loner type, small town drug dealer kind of guy, but he's like the only one that believes her and tries to help her figure this out. So this definitely sounds super interesting. I then picked up How It Went Down by Kakla Magoon, and this follows Tariq Johnson, who dies from 2 gunshot wounds. He is black, and the shooter, Jack Franklin, is white. So there you go. Sounds good. Next book I picked up is A Certain Age by Beatrice Williams. This follows our main character, what's her name? Teresa Marshall. She is a Fifth Avenue socialite, like very high up there, and she's married. But she meets another man who is a war hero and very out there, and he's an aviator and hero of the Great War. They start a relationship, but divorce is still very like, you don't really get divorced, but she is really interested in this guy, so it sounds interesting. I don't know where she's gonna go. Again, I feel like this was suggested to me by somebody, so I picked that up, and I don't know a whole lot about it. The last 2 I picked up from my library. I have The 19th Wife by David Ebershoff. This follows a polygamist family and the 19th wife. I've owned a copy of this book for a while, but it was large print, and it just was weird and bulky and just big. So I finally found a normal printed version of this book, and I'm picking this up because I really want to read it, and I wasn't going to read it in the format that I had. And I also grabbed Closed Casket by Agatha Christie. It's Agatha Christie. I just picked it up. It's $1. And then the last 2 I purchased on Amazon. We of course have Legendary by Stephanie Gerber. This is the second book to Carvel, so I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but I can't wait to get back into that world. And then I also picked up, based upon Books and Lala talking about this, Dead Mountain, The Untold True Story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident by Donnie Eicher. So this is a nonfiction book that follows these explorers in 1959. They all wound up dead. That's not a shocker, but it sounds like no one can really understand what exactly happened. So this is kind of an account of what's out there in the evidence that is, and it sounds fascinating. The way that Kayla from Books and Lava talked about it just totally piqued my interest right away, so I picked up that book. And that's it. That's the big pile. So again, no book hauls for a while. I'll still get my book of the month books, and so there'll be a few books coming in, but definitely not like a pile like this for a bit. If any of these books interest you and you want to do a buddy read, let me know. We can definitely set something up. If you've read any of these and you say, hey Lindsay, pick this one up first, let me know. I would love to. Or if you have any other thoughts you want to share, comment below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.